Let's head back to Las Vegas for Betting Across America. Watch the show on Fubo TV, VSiN.com, or with the VSiN app. And listen all day on SiriusXM Channel 204.
This segment is brought to you by PointsBet, New Jersey's premium sportsbook. They have the best promos out there, including an amazing offer for the NBA playoffs. All you have to do is place a moneyline bet on any NBA team. If your team is up after the third quarter, they'll pay you out instantly, even if your team goes on to lose. Be sure to sign up with the code VSiN, and you'll get 2 risk-free bets up to $1,000. Again, that code is VSIN. Don't miss out on all the action. Download the app on iOS and Android today. New Jersey only. Must be 21 or older to bet. Additional terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. PointsBet. Stay sharp. Josh, so we put out a little thing on Twitter for people to ask some questions of you in terms of betting in baseball. So let's take a look at what we got here. Kelly, do you have this ready to go?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go with the first one here, guys, 304. So I'll ask these, Amal, because this first one applies to both you guys. What's the most important thing you, Amal, and Josh, when studying bets about pitchers? Certain stats like whip or run support or last few starts versus team by team. So a few questions wrapped up into all the characters there.
I'll say for myself, he mentioned whip and run support. Those are a few things. But I like to look at a bullpen in terms of how much they've been used. If it's a pitcher that's not going to go long into a game past 5 or 6 innings. Success record of hitters against that particular pitcher. If they've got more than 5 at-bats, you look at the individual matchups in terms of how a hitter fares against a particular pitcher. And then, of course, it talked about how they've done over the last half a dozen starts. I usually look back at. And early in the season, it's a little bit more difficult to do because you don't have as much data, but how a particular pitcher performs in a splits, home and away as well.
Yeah, hey, will you put that graphic back up? Yeah, early in the season is tough because you don't know how anybody's going to play. We don't know. So I like when I'm trying to find rhythm. I like a couple weeks in and now. A little bit different than him. I look at the pitchers first. In baseball is the one thing where pitchers can dictate the entire game. If the pitchers are locked in, if they're pitching well, I can shut somebody out, and it doesn't matter if my offense isn't there. They give me 1 run, I can still win. It's not like basketball where you can game plan, but you really don't know who's going to take the shot or how it's going to play out. A pitcher can dictate the game. So I always start with him. I want to see how he's been pitching. Has he been good? Has he been bad? I look at the bullpen to see how the bullpen, knowing if this manager might let him go 6 innings, 5 innings, 7 innings. I need to know how the bullpen's pitching at that point. The run support, yes, a little bit, but the ERA and the whip a little bit more because it's more true to who they are consistently over the course of time. But it all starts with the pitcher for me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the key.
All right, on to the next one. Stephen Maluski's got a few questions for Josh. Who's one player you hated as an opponent but loved as a teammate? Is there any hope for me as a Mets fan? And if you were allowed to punch any MLB mascot once free of consequence, who would you pick and why? Really fanatic, right?
Yeah, there's hope for you as a Mets fan. There really is. I'm optimistic all the time when I see this team. I love their pitching staff, and I thought they'd be better this year. I mean, they definitely are. They got to figure out how to get it through a whole season. Who's one player you hated? God, I made friends with everybody, so it's kind of a terrible question for me. I mean, there's guys like Miguel Tejada. I didn't hate him. I loved to hate him, and he hated me. And we never were teammates. But every time I'd get him out, he'd mother F me all the way down the line because he felt like he should hit over the fence. And I would smile at him because he rolled over a weak ground ball and a little sinker, and he was mad. So there's certain players like that. Catalanato Frank is a good friend of mine. I hated facing him because he lit me up every time. But when he was my teammate, awesome. Obviously, we became friends, and I love having him on my side. So no animosity. I just never wanted to face him because he raked. What was my mascots? I honestly never paid attention to mascots.
I didn't even know there were mascots besides the Philly Fanatic.
Yeah, I never. We had the old chicken would always come around the minor league days. The old San Diego chicken, he'd come around. He was fun, but no, never any I wanted to punch.
All right, next one from Dan Silverman. Who's the toughest hitter you've ever faced? I know you kind of just answered that, but is there any another guy that comes to top of mind over your career?
Bernie Williams. So Catalanato, and I faced Cat when he was with Texas. I faced Cat when we would have inter-squad games when we were Texas. With Toronto, and he raked. He would come up. I told the story. He'd come up and look around and be like, tell my third baseman, Menachino, who's with Miami Marlins as a coach, I'm going to hit it right by you. And I look at Menachino, I'm like, come on, dude, he's not going to. I can control the pitches. He'd hit it right by him. Like, he did anything he wanted off me. Bernie Williams was the same way. I didn't like facing Bernie Williams because he would just foul it off until I made a mistake. A few pitches later, I'll make a mistake, and he hits it over the fence. And that was frustrating to me where I just wanted to drill him and put him on first. He was going to be there anyway, so I might as well just get it over in a couple pitches. So those two guys come to mind. There's other people that had better averages against me, but I wasn't uncomfortable. Those two guys I never want to face.
All right, one last one from Hoopsburger here, and we got a minute for you, Josh. How valuable is Hunter Pence? His numbers never blow you away, but the win-loss rate doesn't lie, and team after team as his career moves along. When he's in the lineup, his teams win at a significantly higher win rate than when he is injured. Why?
Some players, and I don't know Hunter that well, some players are great in the clubhouse. They make the entire atmosphere awesome. You're in a better mood. Orlando Hudson comes to mind. Mike Bordick. There's certain players that when you see him, you smile. And when you're in a better mood, you're going to play better. Now, Hunter Pence, his numbers are what they are. They're decent. They're bad. They're whatever. It's goofy. It's unorthodox. He definitely gets it done. He went home and put some work in so he can come back and be successful this year. We know that. But I got a feeling because of this, I think Hunter's going to probably a fantastic clubhouse, dude. That the energy level, the excitement, there's always a smile. And when you have those guys, you just want to be better. And I think he makes you better in the clubhouse.
You mentioned one of my favorites, the O-Dog, Orlando Hudson.
One of the best of all time.
Absolutely right. When we come back, game number 2, Warriors, Raptors in Toronto. We'll break that down next here on Betting Across America.
You're listening to Betting Across America. Get in touch with the show at VSiN Live.
If you're a loyal follower of VSiN, it's time to take the next step. Sign up for VSiN's free daily newsletter. You'll get an email every single morning with news, analysis, and betting resources to help you improve your handicapping. Dave Tooley tracks the ATS results from the night before. Jeff Fogel offers insights on how to read the ups and downs of the sports betting markets so you know what the sharp bettors are doing. Receive the daily betting schedules from the South Point Sportsbook with games listed in official Nevada rotation order. Watch highlights from VSiN shows, plus learn about special offers and discounts from VSiN. That's all for free. That's all in VSiN's daily newsletter. Sign up at VSiN.com/newsletter. That's VSiN.com/newsletter. It's kind of like getting a postcard right here from your friends in Las Vegas.